Hello, Dota 2 fans, and welcome to our second series of the day for SLTV Pro Series Season 11. This is Balkan Bears Corleone versus House of Gamers. A few stand-ins on either side for this one. I am MoreRagePlz, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, joined by the charming and wonderful Coucher. We are SLTV, your English coverage. Coucher, what are you looking forward to from this matchup?
Well, Balkan Bears, they always run something crazy, so you never know exactly what to look forward to, but if not banned out, I would expect a Broodmother, for example, to be banned out. Padrinho just kind of loves that hero. If not that, who the hell knows, man. Balkan Bears, they can play all kinds of crazy things, but to be honest, both sides only are running with that one stand-in. Massacre is standing in for Wii because, well, he's playing with Honey and people at the moment, or most likely will officially play with them as well. They are in the Dota Pit Season 3 qualifiers, I do believe, officially as a team. But for House of Gamers, Vroxnak is replacing Malem for this game. So theoretically, it's only one stand-in each, although I have to say, over the past couple of days, this is the most original members I've seen in the Balkan Bears lineup. Usually they've had like two or three stand-ins.
Yeah, definitely. Pylai standing in for them yesterday. You can check out the VODs from that over at youtube.com/Heflamoke. But Pylai not in this one. Excalibur also not here for House of Gamers and hasn't been playing with them for a bit. So definitely indicative of the practicing and going on between Weehaw, Pylai, Fly, Hani, and as well as Excalibur. So we will see some good Dota regardless. Loser goes home, guys. This is the loser bracket of the SLTV. Throw up the bracket for you guys quickly just to check that out. SFC defeating DT earlier today, so the winner of this goes on to face Scary Faces in the round 4 of the loser bracket. But we'll hop right back into the draft. Ember Spirit going to be picked up as the first pick here for BBC. Padrino's signature Broodmother banned out, as you mentioned, and Legion Commander Skywrath Mage is the combo 1-2 from HOG.
Yeah, it's definitely a good combination. You cannot really go wrong with that as far as their synergy goes. Legion Commander is kind of a hot and cold hero in a sense. Yeah. But Balkan Bears picking up Timbersaw. Massacre has had excellent performance on that hero. It's really been godly pretty much. How well he's played the Timbersaw. Of course, Skywrath Mage is an excellent hero to deal with both the Timber and the Ember. So I think it's a pretty nice combination. Legion Commander can have that long lockdown for the Timbersaw. Same with just Skywrath Mage with the Ancient Seal. So I'm not too sure if they actually anticipated the Timbersaw, but it just happenstance that the two heroes that they kind of semi-counterpicked against Ember Spirit also work well against Timbersaw. Yeah,
definitely so. And the Ancient Seal, very nice against the Timber with that instant cast. You get it off before the chain latches. That's pretty darn good. Of course, the duel, as you mentioned, also very good against the Timber. So Massacre, though, has been playing it very well. Yesterday, we saw him wreck face as BBC was able to win their series. And it will be interesting to see if he plays this in the off lane, as one of them is standing in for Wii. Hockey usually plays the off lane for BBC, but Massacre has been playing it whenever Hockey has not been here for the squad. So be intriguing to see how the role shuffling plays out. Either way, Void going to be banned out from HOG. Nyx Assassin, interestingly enough, going to be banned out by BBC. Zeus, definitely a popular hero and one that Slash Strike loves to play for HOG. So definitely understand that ban in terms of a respect ban. And it's also pretty good against what BBC has, despite the Flame Guard being there for the Ember Spirit. HOG going to pick up the Disruptor, which is pretty good into the Legion Commander, so perhaps kind of a pick deny away from BBC. Also, if you can get a nice glimpse off on the Ember Spirit, perhaps that will be able to negate a remnant out of the fight.
Yeah, Disruptor also pretty good against Timbersaw, both with the glimpse as well as the Static Storm, of course, as well. So I really like how House of Gamers so far have drafted. Of course, maybe, or it doesn't always work out just extremely counter drafting, just because you're gonna have to have the synergy and you're gonna have to be practiced on the heroes and whatnot as well. But one thing I do like from House of Gamers is them banning out the Medusa. It kind of would have made sense for Balkan Bears to go for that hero, having banned out the Nyx Assassin. So House of Gamers pick up on that as well, banning out the Medusa. But for Balkan Bears now, a Leshrac pickup. Balkan Bears actually are a team that have ran a Leshrac core as well, farming on the safe lane. Could this be one of those games, or is it going to be a just core horsey, or say support horsey, that is?
Probably the support, I guess, more likely than not. You put a Leshrac in a core role and he gets dueled and static stormed, you're pretty much wasting a core, I guess, at that point. But the Split Earth is pretty reliable into the Legion Commander. Of course, Disruptor does have the static storm to drop over that duel, and as well as the kinetic field early on to not allow people to encroach upon the LC. But from range, the Leshrac can do a little bit of work against that LC, so I don't mind that pickup there. It doesn't synergize particularly well with the Ember or the Timber Saw, but is able to dish out quite a bit of burst, and there are squishy heroes thus far on the side of HOG. But yeah, I don't really expect this to be a core Leshrac. And now there's the corrosive skin from the Viper from HOG, so if they put all their eggs into that Leshrac basket, I fear for their ability to take down this hero in the least.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping for a support as well, and hoping it's going to be partnered up with, I guess, maybe a Rubik, although it doesn't have like the craziest abilities to steal, but that is exactly what I was looking for. The Vengeful Spirit is such a good combination. If they go gank the mid lane, for example, Ember Spirit starts up with the Searing Chains to buy that little bit of time for the supports to get close, Magic Missile to follow, and a guaranteed Split Earth to follow that up in turn. So it's a pretty scary damn support to auto roam around if you're House of Gamers, but House of Gamers, how do they even lane this at the moment? I mean, can it be even an aggressive tri-lane of sorts with Disruptor, Skywrath, and Viper? Or Disruptor, I guess, isn't that great in aggressive tri-lanes, and if it wouldn't work out, you would be maybe a little bit low on levels.
I mean, the Glimpse is nice, but they don't really have any reliable lockdown until they pick up that duel, so I would guess that it will probably be a safe lane try centered around their last pick with the Legion in the off lane. They could perhaps run duels as well. Timbersaw usually wrecks most duel lanes, though, especially when played by Massacre. As you mentioned earlier, he's pretty proficient on that hero, so I'll probably see a defensive try coming out from House of Gamers. But yeah, as you mentioned, Disruptor not the strongest hero in an aggressive tri-lane. I mean, the Legion Commander is pretty good in the tri-lanes with the nuke ability of the Overwhelming Odds, and the Glimpse could help them get a kill with the extra move speed that Overwhelming Odds does provide, as well as a concussive shot slow from the Skywrath. But into a Leshrac Vengeful Spirit, I'd be certainly worried for HOG if they ran aggressive, so I would expect their last pick to be the safe laner here. Viper in the mid and the LC pretty standard in the off lane. What are you expecting to come out from BBC? Looks like we're also looking for the safe lane carry for them.
Well, unfortunately, Slark is banned. Padrino definitely loves to play that hero. So it gets a little bit harder. Something with mobility or high survivability would be the best, probably.
Yeah.
Although, I actually wouldn't mind maybe something like that Gyrocopter, for example. A hero that just builds BKB in most cases anyway, so that's going to be kind of necessary, I think, of your core this time around. Although Viper Strike will still slow you down, you can still get dueled as well. But if you're dueled, but you have the BKB activated, no Mystic Flare will damage you, so you don't care that much. Plus, they have a crap ton of setup for the cooldown to actually slow people.
Yeah, I like the point you made about survivability. Early on, I was thinking a Tiny. Usually you'll never see this hero picked up without an IO in Pro Dota, but the Craggy Exterior is pretty damn good into the duel. You could also see a PA pick up here, but they do have quite a bit of magic damage, so that's certainly worrisome if you are a PA. But maybe a Sven. Sven is a perennial BKB building hero. He also does offer them another stun, and as you mentioned, they got quite a bit of lockdown with the Magic Missile into the Split Earth, as well as the Searing Chain, so supplementing that with a Stormbolt as well is pretty scary, and the BKB building Sven will do pretty well up against this lineup until there's an Aghanims on that Disruptor. Of course, being a melee carry, the Viper Strike will do a lot of work against something like a Sven, so perhaps that dissuades BBC from going into that. Maybe they look for something more range-based, perhaps the Mirana, perhaps something like a Drow Ranger here. They aren't too range-heavy, however, so the Drow probably not the best pick in this scenario, but HOG going to round things out with a Storm Spirit, so it looks like they'll have a safe lane Viper.
How about something like a Wind Ranger, for example? Maybe the laning would be a little bit off, but okay, so a 3M Protector it is, and I guess Leshrac will be the core here. Not gonna be a Levy Leshrac just because they did have to switch up things a little bit due to Massacre being here for them. Yeah. But, well, we both didn't think it's going to happen. At least, Timbersaw can be an extreme late game hero.
Yeah, I was a little bit off on that last prediction.
Heavy.
Yeah, he really does, and I don't know that he's going to do much in this lineup. They do have... Storm will probably build into a BKB. I don't feel like he can kill the Viper even if he doesn't go BKB, and perhaps the supports and the Legion Commander are his only targets.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Leshrac can just dish out so much magic damage throughout the entire game pretty much. It's just, if House of Gamers get BKBs,
yeah,
just look at BBC's damage all of a sudden. I mean, Timbersaw, he has some pure damage, thank God for that at least, but once the BKBs start coming out on the core heroes and House of Gamers, it's just going to be really tough. And of course, House of Gamers, I'm not too sure how they're gonna focus on which support will be farming, whether it be Disruptor or the Skywrath, but let's say Disruptor gets an Aghanims as well. If he catches BBC without them having BKBs or without having them activated before the Static Storm, I don't know, it's hard to say. A lot will come down to the laning and just the BKB timings, I think.
Definitely so, but we'll introduce the lineups for now for the side of HOG on the Radiant. Grazine picking up the Legion Commander towards the offlane. We got Slash Strike in the mid on his Storm Spirit. A Moment picking up the Disruptor. Illusionist playing for them quite a bit lately is on the Skywrath Mage. Massacre getting harassed up here, but he'll chain to the high ground and lose half his HP. And finally, Vrocksnack, the stand-in, going to be playing on the Viper.
As for BBC, looks like they're going for an aggressive try-in of sorts with Levy on the Vengeful, leaving Senigata to play the Treant, with Padrino playing that core Leshrac. Mid lane will be handled by HOG on the Ember Spirit. That leaves Massacre. Already has to chew through a couple of tangos, but well, he had 8 of them. He's going to be just fine, I guess. But he's on the Timbersaw, as was kind of to be expected.
Yeah, and it's going to be a 1v1 matchup. Looks like it will be a defensive try from House of Gamers. So Viper versus Timbersaw. Not a huge win for Viper here, but definitely a slight edge. I'll probably see a point or two in the reactive armor for Massacre. With that Timber Chain, though, they won't be able to kill him unless he missteps and Timber Chains forward with 2 low HP. Grizzing going to throw out an overwhelming odds bottom for some LH, and nothing much going to happen off the back of that.
So at the moment, like I said, nothing much happening. Mid lane, Hockey takes some harassment from Slash Strike, and it's kind of to be expected. Sometimes Ember Spirits, when they're expecting a ranged hero to be up against them, just a lot of harassment coming in through right clicks, you just go or start with Stout Shield. He did go for a Magic Stick though, I guess. A Storm Spirit definitely spams out quite a lot, the Static Remnant more specifically. But Hockey might not have the easiest of times, but he's only 100 gold away from getting that bottle, so once he gets that, he's probably going to be just fine. Yeah,
and I mean, historically, Storm Spirit does very well versus melee heroes. He does have the Flame Guard to help keep him up. One more Overload, though, and actually the first blood's going to be found by Slash Strike in the mid. Hockey, as his bottle was almost coming out, just purchased, in fact. He does die, and for that reason, he has no TP, and he's going to have to walk back to the mid lane. That's a big win for the Storm Spirit.
If only the Treant Protector had living armor there, it probably would have been enough to save the Ember Spirit as well, but it just goes to show that Flame Guard level 1 is crap.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do anything almost.
Yeah, it's very underwhelming. The tick damage is nice, but in terms of the magic absorption, it's pretty much negligible. And other than that, very nice start there for the side of House of Gamers. Slash Strike doing well in the mid lane. He's topping the CS board with 13, at the moment. He'll pick up his bottle and find a regen top, which is a great rune for a Storm Spirit.
Without being level 6, you cannot make that great of use out of it, but it's still nice. I mean, you can definitely go for more of a man fight against Ember Spirit. He already got the 1 kill, but now even with the Flame Guard being level 2, Slash Strike doesn't have to worry too much about it, because I highly doubt Ember Spirit can get the solo kill unless Slash Strike really dives too far.
Yeah.
Which almost happened, but he wasn't quite in tower range when the Searing Chains came out. Padrino in the meantime also gets slightly harassed on the bottom lane. Grazine does not have the most last hits. But what do you actually think of this Viper versus Timbersaw matchup top lane?
I mean, I think the Viper will farm well, but either way, Zenigata is here with a Leech Seed. There's the Flame Guard taking down Slash Strike. The Searing Chains aren't going to land, but they'll finish him off either way. Thunderclap's hitting on 2, and they're clumping up here from BBC. They need to spread, and they will be able to do so. Zenigata able to rotate back and even things up for Hockey in this mid lane. But speaking of this Viper-Timber matchup, I really think Massacre is going to be just fine to find his farm. As I mentioned earlier, he does go for 2 points in the reactive armor, so he should be just fine. He's not going to have any kill potential, but he probably won't be killed himself with the Timber Chain being maxed out before anything else. And so probably will see both of these heroes come out of lane with decent farm.
Yeah, it sure looks like Viper at the moment. He could dominate the lane if only he had the mana to do so. But he cannot just keep on spamming out the poison attack, unfortunately for him. And like you said, 2 points into reactive armor is usually just all the sustain you need on the lane. Mid lane though, Slash Strike He did go down, so definitely a nice pickup for BBC. But now the Electric Vortex comes out. HOG, will he go down? Slash Strike, if only he had half a level more. Living Armor comes out as well. I think it's gonna be enough to save HOG for now, and indeed it is. Slash Strike, if he was level 6, just a few ticks of Pole Lightning, getting those extra overloads, which has been maxed out so far as well. Definitely would have been enough for the kill, I think, but now Senigata has himself an Invis Rune. Can they kill the Storm here?
He's about to hit level 6 and they need to go soon. Searing Chain's not going to land onto Slash Strike. The Leech Seed is there with the Magic Missile and they'll be able to bring him down unless he gets the Ball Lightning here, which he doesn't. So very nice rotation once again from Zenigata and Levi. Lucky invisibility rune for them, but either way, they're going to punish the Storm Spirit. Overwhelming odds, concussive shot goes out bottom onto Padrino. Not sure that they're able to chase him down here. Living Armor will sound the retreat for HOG, and Padrino will be just fine as his supports wrap around under the cover of smoke. Levi is clearing up here, has enough for a Magic Missile. They're going to run into Illusionist with the Leech Seed. They should be able to bring him down with relative ease, but he's going to try and deny himself, and he's successful in doing so. Very smart play from Illusionist, and unfortunately, Zenigata not enough mana for the Leech Seed there to take him down beforehand. Meanwhile, mid lane,
oh man,
Slash Strike, another solo kill onto HOG. Things going very well for this Storm Spirit. That's a nice 400 experience bounty, 320 gold bounty going his way, and things looking good for HOG in this early game. Meanwhile, Massacre top lane has been ancient sealed up, but he'll be able to chain away, and definitely something that I spoke of. But he gets glimpsed back, and a moment finishes him off. One last right click from Vrocksnack, and finally we see some rotation from the HOG supports, and they will find a fruitful engagement up on Massacre's Timbersaw.
That was so damn necessary for them as well, I think. You need to keep the Timbersaw down, although he doesn't have that great of a farm anyway. Just because Vrocksnack, as he gets more points into just Nether Toxin as well as the poison attack, you can see that he's pulling ahead in last hits as well. But mid lane, Slash Strike, he got ganked twice. I do have to say that Invis Rune was extremely fortunate for the Treant Protector there. But oh, the jump in Slash Strike, can he go for the kill? He does get stunned up, and eventually he managed to claim the rune. So Slash Strike, without extra bottle charges, cannot really follow up.
Yeah, smart play from Levi to fog him as well, so he can't continue there. If he gets off the overload, perhaps he goes, or the vortex, I should say, not the overload. Perhaps he goes for that, even though Zenigata is rotating in.
Oh, Vrocksnack though might be in trouble. Massacre will have another Timber Chain. One more right click will do the trick. Oh god, what
attack pause. And it was HOG, unfortunately. Massacre probably yelling at him over team chat, but maybe a DC from BBC here.
We do hear a TP coming in. I think it's blue, right? Yeah, it's the Legion Commander. Doesn't have the duel though, only level 4. But Viper, he's slightly faster thanks to the corrosive skin slowing Massacre down, but
he should be able to
is he
get
already
the
mid-animation with the right click, or is he still running? I think he's still running, right?
I think he's running, but as Vrocksnack goes southwards, he's going to have to take somewhat of this trajectory diagonally to the left in order to survive here, unless if he goes straight down, he will get the attack, and he does. So Massacre finishes him off there. Duel not available for Grazine, as you mentioned. A moment here with the level 2 glimpse, but Massacre should be just fine to stay in lane. He does pick up his arcanes now, and that'll give him a lot more ability to start spamming out his spells. So things looking better now after that first death for Massacre's Timbersaw.
This was just a casual, never underestimate Timbersaw once he's level 6. Before level 6, yes, it's really hard to get a solo kill on a Viper, but that chakra makes a world of difference. Now though, he might still be in trouble. They have the glimpse level 2, Massacre not too high on mana either with Vrocksnack. If he gets the Viper Strike, I think that's gonna be it. There's the Viper Strike, they're gonna go with the right clicks, glimpse back as well. Does he have enough mana? No, he's too low on mana for another Timber Chain, and he's gonna go down. A few more right clicks. Levi just not quite there in time. So they got the counter kill in the end. Timbersaw at least he has his arcane, so it's something. HOG
is here with 2 remnants available. Levi gonna rotate in under the cover of nature's guise. He'll get in range for the Magic Missile. This should be the death of Vrocksnack. They'll drop the Searing Chains, not even gonna use the Remnant Bomb, and perhaps they should have, as he brings down Levi after dying off. So unfortunately for Vrocksnack, he's not gonna find the XP for that, and he does go down. So good rotation from HOG, but perhaps should have used those remnants to bring him down. In fact, he may have been too low on mana.
Yeah, he was at the time. Maybe with Magic Stick usage earlier on, he would have had enough, but he had like 110 before that. So definitely a little bit unfortunate. I mean, still a better trade for them, but
bot lane, like they're looking for Padrino. Concussive shot will go out, but the TP is inbound now from the Vengeful Spirit, and glimpse back though onto Levi, but he'll get off the magic missile before he gets thrown back. Either way, Living Armor gonna keep up Padrino. He's gonna get a lightning bolt onto the Illusionist. Nicely cast Split Earth, and they should bring down this Skyrath there with the Pulse Nova. They're able to do it, and Padrino starting to get some traction under those heals.
Man, Treant, the Living Armor has done so much already. It's been quite some time since the hero has been picked up, so I've kind of forgotten how strong that ability can be. Of course, Magic Wand as well helping out Leshrac there.
Yeah.
Just turning things around. For a second I was like, once the glimpse came back, Hockey mid lane though, he's gonna get the Electric Vortex. The Flame Guard keeps him alive, and there's the Remnant. Magic Missile will get dodged by the Ball Lightning. Slashtrack of course still has a double damage, might turn things around if he wants to go extremely deep. But he's thinking hard about it. If they had the Living Armor on their own side, probably easy dive for the Storm Spirit, but they don't have that luxury.
Yeah, unfortunately for them. He will jump forward, but Living Armor is going to be out on the tower. Magic Missile caught in the face by Slashstrike. He'll be able to stick up and zip out. So Slashstrike going to be fine for now, but with no rune spawning for 45 seconds, probably will need to base here, and that looks like it will be the case. Massacre has based as well on the Timber Saw. He's got a full magic wand now, so should be a little more survivable, but not found too much in the way of farm aside from his arcane boots.
Yeah, he actually got con upon as well, I think, by the Skyrath Mage and Viper. Viper Strike was used as well. Did make it out though, and well, speaking of Rocksnack, he's heading towards that mech as is the usual item build. He's about 500 gold short of that, so with the mech, they might try to go rather aggressive. I mean, they have the duel after all for the Legion Commander, and if you can help it, you'll definitely want to start tracking up the duel damage as early as you can.
Yeah, zip forward from Slashstrike. He's going to look to find Padrino, but he's used 75% of his mana pool. He's bottling up, though, and one more Overload attack will be enough to bring down the Leshrac. Bounty Rune going Slashstrike's way as well. That'll fill up his bottle. Very fortunate for him. Zenigata rotating beyond the supports with the Nature's guys here, and Grizine will return to lane, bot lane, look to find his level 7 here. Slashstrike's got some mana mid lane. The mid tower is being healed up very nicely by Zenigata, though, and they will look to maintain their tier 1s and defend them for a long while with this Tree and Protector.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I was so certain Slashstrike will not have the mana after that long of a jump. But even this early on, I guess, just Null Talisman, Power Treads, as well as a Robe of Magi was just enough. Maybe had a couple of Magic Wand charges there as well to use, but my god, what a freaking long jump this early on into the game.
Yeah, I could not believe. I thought he would have no mana at all to speak of. He may have been bottling as he was zipping. Because when he came out, he was already in the bottle animation there. But Padrino's rotated into the mid under the Nature's guys. He'll hit a Split Earth. Oh, it's going to whiff barely on Slashstrike. That would have been huge if it hit him there. Hockey's going to be Ancient Sealed up. He'll have to back off for the time being. Massacre going to rotate in, though. Lightning Storm going to slow things down. Chain goes through Rocksnack. There's the Remnant. It's a little bit too far from Hockey, but they'll bring down the Viper regardless. Levi trying to chase down Illusionist. Won't be successful in doing so. Slashstrike's got an invisibility rune. He's going to go to try and find Padrino from behind. Grizzy gonna die in the meantime, and Slashstrike gonna think better of engaging here. Meanwhile, Levi and Zenigata rotating around the back, trying to find Illusionist, but it doesn't look like that will be the case as he runs around to the west. Zenigata's gonna scout him out. Leech Seed is not nearly in range, and he'll have to rotate around. Ancient Seal is there. Concussive Shot unfortunately was on cooldown, but there is a zip back. Overgrowth used immediately. Kinetic Field is there, but the Nature's guys use Sentry Ward is going to be deployed, but they'll be able to TP out, and smart play from Zenigata there, knowing that no disables on those 3 left with the glimpse already used. Mid lane, Lightning Storm, and the Slashstrike going to get picked off to that Pulse Nova. Well played by Padrino.
Man, Leshrac not doing that bad at all. Number 1 in net worth, and he actually was solo up against, I do believe, like 2 heroes on the bottom lane for quite a long time as well. Of course, always got some assistance from the Living Armor, so we have to keep that in mind as well. But Bloodstone will be finished soon enough if he continues at this pace. But at the moment, no single point into the Diabolic Edict, so pushing this tower is quite a lot harder than it need be, maybe.
Yeah, I would have expected him to build a bit into Edict, knowing that they have the Living Armor of the Tree, and perhaps they would look to take a tower advantage. But regardless, that Lightning Storm slow is pretty potent. We have seen it work out for him a couple of times here, so maxing that out and even getting the Split Earth to that 300 damage nuke. As you mentioned in the draft, they do have the setup of the Magic Missile, so definitely worth maxing that out.
So are we going to see 2 Bloodstones from Balkan Bears then? One for Timber Saw, one for Leshrac?
Probably will. I guess the Timbers may come out a little bit later. We often see the Aghanims build more recently before the Bloodstone. But yeah, at some point we may see that. And in that case, they'll definitely rely a lot on these engagements going well. Mid lane, speaking of which, Padrino is... I thought he was invisible for a sec. Maybe he just casted Lightning Storm and it popped it. But there is a Sentry Ward here from the Dire side. That's actually scouting out the Observer Ward for the Radiant. So they know they do have high ground vision. Zenigata trying to encroach upon the enemy under Nature's Guise. He may find Grazine here, but doesn't want to get dueled up. And there are all 5 from HOG. So things going to stagnate for the time being.
They can actually bait it out excellently. They know there's a... Well, never mind. They're going to go out and smack this Observer Ward down. It was a rather fresh one. Unfortunately, neither of them actually get the last hit. It was the creep getting the 50 gold for it. But still, a fresh ward denied to the side of House of Gamers. I thought that it might be excellent bait, knowing that the ward is there, but I guess the creeps would have kind of given it away anyway. But otherwise, could have been an excellent bait. Just when House of Gamers would have thought that nobody is there for BBC to defend, suddenly they come in with the Nature's Guise, pop the Overgrowth, and just go from there. But one thing I've still lacked to see, of course, Illusionist isn't even level 6 with the Mystic Flare, but I don't think there's been a single duel yet.
No duels coming out yet from Grazine. He's been level 6 for quite a while now, and really just hasn't found a good opening. They haven't really used any smokes, though. He's very far off a Blink Dagger at this point. Slash Strike playing a little greedily mid, but he shouldn't be punished for it at this point.
What do you think even of Legion Commanders? Just farm levels. Safe lane farm on the Legion. Only 46 last hits to them with no Blink Dagger yet. I don't know, man.
it's pretty poor at this point. Only the treads to show for it. 1200 gold in addition to that. Is 6th overall on the net worth chart and well below the 3 cores. Even Hockey having a pretty brutal start. 3-3 and 2 on the Ember. Maybe aggressed upon mid here, or bottom I should say, but won't get hit with the Viper Strike, and he needs to get a defensive Remnant out here before he takes that Viper Strike, because his remnants will be very slow. He's going to pop the Lightning Storm, though. The Searing Chains will go out, but a Static Storm from the side from a moment is going to start ticking down Hockey. He's going to get really low. He'll be able to Remnant out, though, and he did have that defensive Remnant at the ready. Well played, good discipline from Hockey. They bring all 5 bottom lane from HOG, and doesn't look like they're willing to translate this into a push. Illusionist very low on mana, as is the Disruptor, and even the Viper pretty low himself.
I'm not entirely sure if the Storm Spirit was just a little bit late with the Electric Vortex, or he thought that the Silence will last longer, that he can go for it later, but I think they kind of missed their opportunity to get the Electric Vortex off and thus kill Hockey. But Hockey wants to come back in, I guess, has the Flame Guard ready. Slash Strike definitely not the easiest target to go for, having the Ball Lightning after all.
Yeah.
And speaking of Storm, he is going for the Orchid. First Oblivion stuff done. Top lane though, tower is so damn low, but it's in deny range. BBC, will they come back for it, or will they just let Grazine deny it?
Well, he's underneath a wave of creeps here, so perhaps they could jump in for it. Massacre looks like he's willing to do so, and he's going to come in with Levi. Easy tower, easy life for them. They'll take an overwhelming odds for their trouble, but Massacre going to find his full soul booster and a soul ring here, so actually going to opt for the Bloodstone first, as you mentioned, and he'll be not too far off that, just needing the recipe.
Yeah, and Hockey in the meantime finishes up drums as well. Always nice to have at least one set of drums on your team. Bottom lane though, Slash Strike, he got stunned up while activating the Invis, but Ball Lightning in, Padrino gets caught for now, Zenigata. He's gonna have the Overgrowth, pops it as well, Padrino still alive, even with the glimpse, he gets out of the kinetic field. I think Slash Strike should have enough mana, indeed he does. Zenigata now in trouble, Massacre, he's gonna join it as well. They still got silence for a little bit, but Hockey, he's pretty damn speedy with the new drums. They get the stun, or rather, the disable on Brocksnack for a little bit. Now Timber Chain goes through, Slash Strike drops so low, gets the Ball Lightning away. They need a little bit more, Massacre too low on mana, but Brocksnack will be a casualty nonetheless. But it's only going to be a 1-for-1. Just the Wind Storm Spirit is a little bit too strong.
Yeah, definitely so. He's a little bit too elusive for them to bring down Slash Strike. With that Oblivion Staff, and as you mentioned, the Treads and the Null actually has a lot more mana. It's pretty deceptive than one would think at this point, but Viper for Padrino's Leshrock, pretty even trade there. Viper, however, only level 9 to Padrino's level 11, so interestingly enough, coming out of mid, 5k net worth, only level 9, which is really middle of the pack.
So, looking at the farm levels, Massacre only about 300 gold away from the Bloodstone. The same can be said for Leshrac as well, even a little bit less needed for him. But the Bloodstones, they are definitely momentum, just snowball based items. if you get lots of stacks early on, you're probably gonna just keep on getting more. Or even if you lose them, you're gonna be just, oh fine, as long as you don't drop below 8, it's gonna be fine.
Yep, and Zenigata continuing to heal up these tier 1s for BBC. Every one of them looking pretty healthy. Mid tower going to eclipse that 3/4 health mark now as well. They brought down the one off lane, and the mid and safe lane tier 1s for HOG are also pretty unhealthy at this point. So BBC, despite not having that point in Edict, actually 1 level in stats as well for Padrino, are going to continue to be able to push in and accrue a tower advantage.
So, looking at how this game has gone so far for House of Gamers specifically and Grisine on the Legion, how much damage gained from duels do you expect him to have by the end of the game?
I'm gonna go with let's go with 48. 48 by the end of the game. Yeah, not assuming much. Simultaneous bloodstones do come out from Leshrock and the Timber Saw here. Mid lane though, first duel as you spoke of it. Hockey, no defensive remnant at the ready. Actually, he had one, but he was silenced up there and muted from the duel. So Grisine already gonna try and prove me wrong here. First 10 damage goes out at the 19-minute mark. However, things still looking pretty good for BBC. Hockey wasn't doing particularly well at the moment. Only had the broadsword on the way to his Battle Fury.
So I'm gonna go with like 128. I'm not too sure if it's even possible for him to get that amount of damage. It definitely is if he has like the correct duels at the correct levels, but
yeah,
let's just say around 130. But oh, they still had the sentry. Zenigata does get glimpsed back into the sentry range once again. He goes to the bottom side. Oh no, back to the sentry. Never mind. Only the two supports just don't have enough there. He got glimpsed back literally on the range of the sentry, but does make it out anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately for Grisine, not able to get into range for that duel, and as you mentioned, just 2 supports looking for 1, and Zenigata, I should say, pretty tanky on the Treant, so they don't really have the firepower to bring him down. Rotating in with 3 remnants under the cover of guys is Hockey. He's not going to find much here, though. 3-man smoke. Looking for another duel win for Grisine and perhaps trying to find some momentum on this LC, who is currently 6th overall on the net worth, even below Hockey after that death. And this leaves the bottom lane unattended, and with a glyph they will be able to mount a defense here, but they'll TP in Padrino's Leshrock and look to take down this tier 1 as mid lane. They do drop an observer ward, and it does scout out Levi at the edge here. His smoke will pop or expire, one or the other, and Grisine with the blink is going to look to find this second duo win here with the Mystic Flare. Will already have 20 damage to his name. No TPs in there, unfortunately, from BBC, but they'll trade a tier 1 in the bottom lane for it, and the first level of Edict for Padrino is going to work there. The Ember Spirit finding the last hit.
Man, Ranger Spirit only having power threat still, it took him so long to die. I thought like duel, Mystic Flare on top of her head, he should be gone in a second, but power threats being on strength definitely helped out a little bit. But Slash Strike having the Orchid now, so they have the Blink on Legion, they have the Orchid on Storm. Pretty much those are the core items, which both of them I do believe came out like 5-6 minutes later than you would want them.
Yeah.
But Padrino comes into the mid, into the standing.
Oh no, and the Bloodstone Curse for Padrino. He's going to be able to suicide himself, but he loses 3 stacks of that as soon as he picks it up. Hockey going to get the Remnant out before getting Viper struck. And luckily for him, by the rune, just a second ago, Massacre missing his Chakram on the Skywrath Mage, and Illusionist able to TP out. If he lands that, he definitely kills him off. So unfortunate, bit of a misstep there from Massacre. A little bit uncharacteristic of him, as you mentioned earlier on. He is quite the Timbersaw player, more often than not. Slash Strike going to take a Chakram to the face as he tries to go in on Hockey, but Hockey had that defensive Remnant ready. TP's in now from the Treant Protector. Overgrowth is ready, but no mana for it at the moment, as Illusionist will pick up a bounty rune top lane, and Slash Strike gonna have to zip back. Massacre finding him here. Chain is gonna whiff, not gonna matter. Hockey's used all of his spirits and won't be able to chase him down. Vroxnak trying to get back here. Chakram is available but not casted by Massacre, and they will bring down this tier 1, it seems, as the wave pushes in. Edict casted by Padrino. Glyph is gonna be there though, and they may look to mount a defense.
At the moment it feels a little bit that BBC, they're kind of lacking in the initiation, or at least proper one. House of Gamers, easy blink duel, I mean, one of the better initiations, or Storm Spirit jumping in, whereas BBC, they don't have those blink heroes. I guess Timbersaw could try to go for a blink at one point.
Yeah.
But they
still no lockdown from him, so they really are going to rely on the Ember Spirit.
Yeah. But they're still pressuring the tower, I mean, they're farming up reasonably well. Although Leshrac, if he loses any more blasts, stone charges, it might get a little bit iffy. And well, HOG gamers, they have every single ultimate, but oh, the stun of the slash strike, they get the burst, they get the follow-up split earth as well to the magic missile. Man, that was just some sneaky forest ganking.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play from BBC. There's no buyback on the Storm as well. He's not able to use his Orchid, which would have been super detrimental to the Timbersaw or even the Leshrac for that matter, as well as the Ember Spirit. Orchid very good against a lot of these heroes, and this will sound the push as the wave comes in for BBC with that Storm down for 30 seconds. With the Edict, they may be able to just bring this tower down.
Well, I think HOG gamers, they're gonna pay a hell of a lot if they just let those towers go down. Because HOG at the moment does not have his Blade Battle Fury yet. And, well, if HOG gamers had their way, he would never get it, of course. But, oh, the swap onto a moment. It's only a support, but the overgrowth was used for that as well. It does secure the kill. Oh, never mind. No, it wasn't used. It was just a living armor there. But another kill, that's gonna maybe ensure a tier 2 going down. HOG, if he gets the last hit as well, suddenly going to be pretty damn close to finishing the Battle Fury.
And he does, as you mentioned. Trying to flank from the high ground is Illusionist. He needs to back up before he gets smacked up here. He's going to get a concussive shot out onto Illusionist, but HOG will have to remnant out a little bit too deep behind enemy lines for his taste. And Zenigata able to rotate out under the cover of Nature's Guise. He's got an overgrowth here, though, and he will just back off. He could have found perhaps a 2-man overgrowth, but Slash Strike with that Orchid looking pretty scary at this point. Level 14 Storm topping the board in terms of experience.
But although Storm Spirit, he was #1 in net worth at one point. Now it is both the Timbersaw as well as the Leshrac. Leshrac also back up to 7 Blasto charges, has Booster Travels. Booster Travels, I think, yes, also finished in Timbersaw. So funny enough to see that really identical item is. Oh, there's the silence though. That's going to be a lot of Blasto charges. Maybe you deny yourself exactly what happens. Commit suicide. Loses quite a lot of valuable charges. But Levi glimpses back, or HOG rather. Now, Static Storm, a little bit premature. Flash Strike, does he? Keep on going. Oh, the duel comes out. Should be easy kill theoretically, but the Flame Burst keeps him alive for a little while longer, but not nearly long enough. Paginio tries to bring down Grizzly and rip him. Does succeed, but come on. You're gonna lose the Blossom charges. He just got back up.
Massacre, you're going to get glimpsed as well beyond the tree line. He won't be able to find any return kills. Was that a buyback on the Timbersaw, or was he just responding quickly from the Bloodstone? He'll throw the Chakram to the high ground to block off a moment, and they'll finish off the Disruptor. So cheeky play from the Timbersaw there. Overgrowth used onto Vrocksnack, but he'll instantly TP out after that. Smart play from the Viper. Slash Strike will be able to remove himself from any danger there. So some more damage for the LC, now up till 34. He can only win one more duel for my prediction, and he's already died a couple of times here. 0-2 and 5 on the LC, not doing extremely well. Didn't think he would even get this much momentum bump, but as you mentioned, Bloodstone already down to 5 charges for Padrino and to 7 for Massacre, so not paying off thus far, but they are looking to wrap on Grazine, who is solo in the top lane. They're going to need to cancel the blink, however, quickly if they are able to take him down. Levi will go in, the Chakram will go out, and Grazine able to blink away.
They needed to time the Chakram as well as the Wave of Terror simultaneously, I think. Wave of Terror, one of the easiest ways to actually disable the Blink Dagger from just coming in from the fog.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you couldn't really hope for too much from them anyway. Like Grisina, with this double damage, it should be so easy for him to win a duel, especially if Slash Strike is there to provide backup as well, who's going for a Bloodstone of his own by the looks of it. So Bloodstones galore, man, Bloodstones for every freaking body. But oh god, they find Paginio, Mystic Flare, not enough to get the kill, only still a level 1 Mystic Flare. God, Paginio couldn't afford to die there, but he's getting close to his BKB. Same can be said for Vrocksnack as well. So both sides getting a couple of BKBs. Legion Commander though, just going for a Maelstrom instead at the moment.
How are they going to kill off this Viper once he gets a BKB up in addition to this mech? I really worry for BBC's ability to take him down, especially with that maxed out corrosive skin.
Well, only way, just wait out the BKB and hope you're still alive while the BKB ends.
Maelstrom picked up from Grazine, and Slash Strike is going to be found out by Levi here. They'll get the stun off. Searing Chains is there as well. He'll be able to zip out of that, though. Overgrowth a little bit late from Zenigata, and he'll get pressed the attack and be just fine. This Storm Spirit having pretty much free reign over the map right now. 6-4 and 2. Surprised he's died even as much as he has, but HOG are going to look to have to mount a defense here on their tier 2. BBC going to aggress towards that with the max edict from Padrino.
Do you think that the Maelstrom was even the correct choice for Legion Commander after that blink?
I would have liked to see more damage oriented as opposed to farm item. Zip forward from Slash Strike though. He's gonna find out Zenigata in the tree lines, and smart play from HOG looking for a flank for the overgrowth, and that'll sound the retreat from the entire lineup of BBC. But yeah, I don't know, I would have liked an AC or a Desolator a little better. Personally, I don't mind the Maelstrom so much, but I don't know that Blade Mail is bad here, especially into a Leshrock. Blade Mail pretty darn good, and that's pretty often build on the Legion Commander, although there's not much physical damage from BBC, so maybe the extra armor from Blade Mail, not so much value in this one.
I mean, I still think like maybe even a BKB or like I mentioned, the Blade Mail might have been worthwhile. Grazine tries to chase down Padrino. But oh, Slash Strike, he's gonna catch up. He doesn't have enough mana anymore though. Oh, jump was just a little bit too long. If he had the Electric Vortex, probably would have been enough with the duel to follow up.
Yeah.
But looking at the graphs, it is about a 5k net worth lead for BBC. XP only about 2400. But the biggest deal, I think, is that the Ember Spirit still does not have the Battle Fury. So before the Ember Spirit actually gets huge, House of Gamers, they will be just fine, I think.
Yeah, still quite a ways away off that Perseverance at this point. Still needs about 600 gold for that for hockey, so doing very poorly. He's now been surpassed even by Grazine, who wasn't doing the best early on, and with that Maelstrom is able to farm up pretty quickly now and has already amassed 1500 gold to his name, so LC will be able to start building into perhaps that BKB. As you mentioned, BKBs are very good versus BBC's lineup here, especially with a core Leshrock, and it's probably why both of us didn't expect it to be core, but at the end of the day they do end up electing to go that route. And Padrino is not far off a BKB of his own, however, so he will be able to stand around in these fights and do quite a bit of work.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a lot of BKBs coming out probably, all in all. I mean, Massacre getting close to his own as well, just needs the recipe. And only about 400 gold away from that as well. So the necessary heroes will have them Battle Fury done now in the Ember Spirit. So they're going to get stronger and stronger. And although the Leshrac, I mean, BKBs will definitely hinder him when House of Gamers has them.
Yeah.
But his pushing power will still be there somewhat. He's pretty damn tanky as well. I mean, 1.6k HP is definitely not too easy to bring down, especially if he does have the BKB finish now. The best way, the easiest way would be, of course, get the duel before the BKB. But at the moment, I don't think House of Gamers just have enough physical damage if he has the BKB activated before the duel.
Yeah,
at least when it's like a proper team fight.
Yeah.
5 versus 1, yes, you can kill Leshrac.
Yeah, definitely so, but I'd have to agree with you. They don't really have the physical damage, and Padrino is going to look to wrap on a moment. He can get glimpsed here, but the Wave of Terror will be there, and the Static Storm is going to be dropped, and they will drop the Split Earth onto Grazine, but he's got 48 damage, and hopefully the game ends right now, so my prediction is right. Massacre chasing down LC. He's got the movement speed, though, but the Timber Chain will finish him off. Actually, it's a Sleight of Fist to do the job, and a moment going to get taken down by Padrino as well. Nice 2-for-1 going their way in the bot lane. Definitely worth losing the Vengeful Spirit, but they do feed over some dual damage.
It's uh-oh. They also bait out the Brox like BKB, and they overstop the TP out. They probably will get the kill mech. Like I mentioned before, not the highest physical damage coming out from themselves, but they did have the medallion to help out a tiny bit. So suddenly 3 kills going their way, but Padrino will get slowed down. Slashtrack will come in with the Orchid, with the Mystic there to follow. So that's going to be worth it in the end. If Slashtrack gets some more, if only they had the gem right about now.
Yeah, Massacre rotating in on the Timber, but he's pretty low in mana, and now Padrino down to 4 charges on that Bloodstone.
Every single time he gains a little bit of those charges, he just loses more.
Yeah, definitely so. It's like the curse with that item. You do well before picking it up. As soon as you pick it up, you start to do poorly in terms of your KDA. Zenigata looking for a flank. He's going to find the Leech Seed onto Illusionist, and he'll medallion him up, but Illusionist going to look to TP out. 2 right clicks not going to be enough there. Slash Strikes is going to look to find something onto Zenigata, but he'll just have to zip back to base as Massacre shows his face. And Grazine going to look to farm up bottom. He's picked up a Mithril Hammer of his own. We'll see if this ends up being a Desolator or the BKB, which is probably the more likely of the two.
So Slashrack now has his own Bloodstone finished on the Storm Spirit. Probably the hardest target to kill at the moment on the map in general, especially if you should go for a BKB now as well.
Yeah.
Do you think the BKB would be the correct choice, or do you go for like something like a Hex maybe?
I really like the BKB here. I feel like he does enough work already. The BKBs will begin to dwindle down, and maybe when he picks up a Hex, it'll be a very nice pickup at that point. He's going to Orchid up Hockey here as he zips in. Static Storm will be there as well. They'll bring down the Ember Spear with relative ease, and Zenigata ticking low, but they don't have detection for him at the moment, so no free duel for Grizine there, unfortunately.
Oh man. What are the odds that the Treant Protector, hoping to just save the Ember Spirit, runs in into a Kinetic Field Static Storm, gets even caught in it, yet nobody has any idea that it's there?
Yeah. So
To be
he's
honest,
too disguised. He looks like a mushroom.
Didn't Static Storm use to reveal Invis targets?
At one point, I feel like it did. At one point, I feel like it did. At least Kinetic Field might. If you were on the edge, but yeah, he was definitely silenced from the Static Storm, so if that was the case, he would have been revealed. Slash Strike looking to find something in the enemy jungle, not going to be successful in doing so. Illusionist waiting in the wings with that level 2 Mystic Flare, but he's not going to find anything either, and everything going to stagnate. 18-18 is your score. 34 minutes into this one, about a kill a minute at this point, and things looking pretty stable at this point for either team. No really stark lead. Slash Strike seems to be the trump card for HOG, as you mentioned. Probably the hardest target to kill on the map.
So Hockey, oh god, he's gonna get caught again. Does Slash Strike have enough damage by himself? Living Armor, where is it not coming out yet? Even with the Haste Rune, just cannot escape a Storm Spirit, who has more or less a full mana pool. So up to 10 Bloodstone charges. So far, the most successful Bloodstone. Of course, Timbersaw was up to 10 as well before he lost them initially with his first step after acquiring the Bloodstone. But man, you do not want a Storm Spirit to just snowball. Although at least, even though Ember Spirit has died twice now, he has the Battle Fury, although with those deaths for the past like 4 minutes, he hasn't gained any net worth at all.
Yeah, Hockey not looking good at all throughout this game, and Slash Strike, as you mentioned, the more successful Bloodstone wielder. He actually picked it up the latest of the three, so perhaps that is some reason for his virtue there. He'll use some clear vision from the Remnant to look for a gank, and he's going to scout out Levi on the low ground. Electric Vortex Orchid looks like an easy kill onto Levi. He'll stick up for the time being, but one last right click and the overload from Slash Strike will bring him down. 11 charges now for Slash Strike. 11-4-2, by far the leader in terms of KDA in this one.
This tier 1 is just now gonna go down in the mid lane. It was down to like, I think less than 200 HP, let's say 12 minutes into the game.
Yep.
That's the power of a Treant Protector. But then again, Treant Protector, although he did quite a lot early on, nice rotations, Living Armor, making a huge difference in the survivability of the heroes on multiple lanes. Now though, Overgrowth can be nice in certain situations for sure. But the Treant Protector, man, I just wish it was a more impactful support at the moment.
Yeah, and I kind of wish Padrino was a more impactful carry right now. 4 Bloodstone charges. He's picked up his Yule Scepter, so he will be able to set up his own split Earths, but not sure he has too much kill potential on anything but the Skywrath, as they can be a glimpse back. He could, of course, BKB off that glimpse back from a moment, so perhaps he has kill potential on the supports, but not sure he'll be able to bring down any of the cores without serious amounts of support.
Oh god, Slash Strike, he's up to 3.3k gold, so if he wants to go for a BKB, he can just purchase it up straight away soon enough, but he has a double damage bottled up. Whoever should get caught solo will be royally screwed, but then again, BBC, they are smoked up, they're going for a gank of their own. Who is gonna be the just unlucky one to get caught?
Well, it looks
is
like
anybody gonna get
Illusionist is getting blocked up by the creeps here. Levi might find him with a swap, but it doesn't look like he had vision, it being nighttime. He will drop the ward on the high ground and see him rotating by, but they're not going to find anyone, although they may find the courier with a point booster on it for a moment. And it will rotate back to base for the time being. They're going to look to mount a push on this tier 2. Diabolic Edict going to get popped here, but jump forward BKB duel from Grizine. Padrino in a lot of trouble here. Nice swap out from Levi, however, and we will see Levi go down for his trouble, but Padrino gets the BKB off. Still, he's going to be brought down regardless to an overwhelming odds. Hockey going to have to get back. He's remnanting out, but zipping forward is Slash Strike, and there's a Living Armor to keep Hockey up for the time being. Stick up though from Slash Strike will be enough. He'll get Searing Chains though, and Hockey should make it out here. Slash Strike dropping low. He'll bring down Zenigata though, And Massacre trying to bring him down. One more chain needed, but he's silenced up right now. Massacre getting pulled in with the electric vortex. Slash Strike press the attack, and Hockey's probably going to feed his life over for showing his face once again. And zip forward from Slash Strike. Will he get in range? No. Blink forward from Grazine though. And a huge win going the way of HOG. Grazine not getting the dual damage though, so prediction still holding for now. But 2 for 5 going the way of HOG. Huge win for them.
That jump was perfect from Grazine. He just got the BKB before initiating that fight, more or less, or well, let's say 10 seconds, 15 seconds before that. And also, Padrino, he actually had time to pop his own BKB before getting duel, because the duel wasn't instant after the blink in. A few steps were involved as well. I think he was like, maybe Padrino thought that there's not going to be enough follow-up, or I don't know what the case was. Of course, there was a beautiful swap out from Levi anyway on the Vengeful, but... Do you think that Ember Spirit surviving thanks to that living armor for that little bit longer actually ended up hurting them more, in a sense that it made Massacre come back in as well to try to go for the Storm Spirit and everything?
It could have. I felt like Massacre would have did that regardless, as Slash Strike was really low on mana, but like I don't feel like he really stopped Slash Strike from chasing the Ember. I feel like he was just going for the kill himself, but a very well-timed Orchid. And you see how much silence affects the Timber, so he really does rely on his mobility.
Look at the Blastone charges.
Yeah.
16 on the Storm, and well, 6 on Timber, so and 3 on
Padrino. So their Bloodstones combined are about just over one charge over half of Slash Strike. Slash Strike definitely sitting in a fountain at this point. 16 Bloodstone charges on him. He's got the full Scythe of Vice as well, and he's looking extremely scary at this point. 17.5k net worth, and something to be worried about for Padrino and crew. But yeah, bottom lane about that BKB pop. A little bit late there. I mean, even if he pops that BKB early, by the time he got his off, he was about 50% HP, so he probably would have survived longer in that battle. But it looks like BBC will go for Roshan with the Medallion and the Wave of Terror. They'll put the living armor up onto Hockey. Split Earth, a Searing Chains goes out onto Roche. They'll be able to bring him down fairly quickly here with this Medallion, but still a nice pick off for them.
So for BBC, kind of the dream situation would be, let's say if Leshrac gets dueled, if he's the one targeted, that he has his Diabolic Edict activated before, as well as his Pulse Nova. If he has those activated and the BKB before he gets dueled, he might be fine. Or, well, at least he's going to output a lot of damage himself. But even if he has the BKB activated, actually, there's still going to be a 5.5 second duel on you at the same time. So once your BKB ends, is it down to 8 seconds now? Yes, it is. So it's only going to have 2.5 seconds more left.
Yeah.
It's... God damn it, just...
And if you pop it preemptively, it won't even have that extra half, right? It'll be like 1.5 to 2 seconds. So, yeah, it's certainly something to be worried about. But we may find an engagement here. Padrino going to pop his BKB preemptively. Grazine going to get the duel off. It's pretty much going to overlap with the BKB. But Grazine may go down for his troubles here. He does die. Feed over some damage to Padrino. Of course, not the biggest target. Either way, Mystic Flare not going to be there for Zenigata. Illusionist falls. But the Medallion is up on Padrino. Nice swap back from Levi. The defensive Yule Scepter is there from Padrino as well. Vroxnak getting really low to the Pulse Nova. He'll drop as well. Massacre or Hockey does go down to Slash Strike, who is the only one seemingly able to survive here. And he will make it out 3 for 2 overall, going the way of BBC. And a nice 2,000 experience swing and about 2,000 gold swing finally going their way. So you see preemptive BKB there from Padrino, very valuable in that one. And he'll get 18 damage, even though his right click really doesn't matter much.
Yeah, the preemptive BKB plus the Pulse Nova was definitely good, although Padrino might be in some trouble. Slasher comes in, gets the silence as well. Padrino has the Yule Scepter, has the Aegis as well, but the moment will be there with the Glimpse if need be later on. And oh, Massacre actually is going to come in to help. He has the Hex finished as well. They're going to get the moment, maybe. Nope, the Glimpse back. Padrino, he's going to get Hexed up. There's the Mystic there to fall as well. Electric Vortex. Oh god, just as I was about to say that. Oh yeah, nice Bloodstone charges gained for the Leshrac and Timbersaw from the last engagement. Oh, why Leshrac? Why every single time, man?
20 Bloodstone charges on Slash Strike now, and this is extremely... Look at his mana pool regen right now.
It's filthy. The Hex, of course, the Scythe of the Vice gives a lot of just percentage-based regen as well.
Yeah.
And that's excellent when you have that big of a mana pool already as it is. And I have to say in the last fight as well, definitely preemptive BKB was nice for Leshrac, but it was House of Gamers just not committing. Slash Strike, he pulled Lightning the way, whereas Grazine, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go 1v5, no problem guys, I have my BKB. But What's going to be the next item for Storm now?
I can't believe Padrino would have wanted to go bot lane. For Storm, we'll probably... I don't know if we even need to see that BKB because he's so survivable at this point. Shiva's not that good versus BBC's lineup. Will be a little bit better later once Hockey starts to get a little bit of right-click up. And it is looking like he's going for a Desolator. Interesting pickup for a Ember Spirit, but either way, yeah, it's a good question. Lincoln's not that good in this one. He'll zip forward though, so hold that thought. Duel out onto Padrino, and no, my prediction has been proven wrong, but Slash Strike gonna pay with his life here. That's a lot of Bloodstone charges going down. Grizzly gonna be able to pop the BKB, however. Swap out from Levi. The Thunderclap will be there to finish off Hockey. He tries to dodge it with a sleight of fist, but he's gonna be a little bit early. Massacre gonna rotate in, and he's not gonna find much here. So they will press the attack on a moment, and they're going to TP back in. Slash Strike, who's really quick respawn timer with those 20s charges. He's going to zip forward, find Zenigata. Electric Vortex into the Mystic Flare. Sheep out onto Massacre. He's got the BKB available if he wants it here. He'll just chain to the high ground, though, and he will be fine for now. Slash Strike going to dive really deep for this one. Massacre with a full mana pool is still able to zip away. Glimpse back, however, is there, but the BKB popped by Massacre to cancel that. Slash Strike going to get Heps up. Massacre going to have to base to this one, and jump forward from Grazine's not going to be committed. So either way, things going to look still pretty good for HOG. They bring down 4, and they'll get this tier 2 as well for their troubles.
I mean, the kill was definitely nice on Slash Strike, but the follow-up was, I guess maybe kind of horrible. They definitely didn't account for Slash Strike respawning that fast. He had 20 Bloodstone charges, which means his respawn took 20 seconds, so that's nothing considering you're a level 25 hero.
Yeah.
And he's back up to 16 charges as well. And they're going to go for a tier 1, which still stands, but this, I feel like, is one of the weirdest item decisions this game so far. Ember Spirit going for the Desolator.
Yeah, not a big fan of that. They do need physical damage through the BKBs of the LC and the Viper, but yeah, I think that there's a lot more that you can go for as an Ember Spirit that'll give damage, a Daedalus being the most common of those. But either way, yeah, that'll give them a little bit of extra push, I guess, when they need it, with the Desolator reducing the armor of towers. There is a blink now on Zenigata as well, and we have our answer to Slash Strike's next item. He's heading on 2 sets of boots right now. He picked up the bots as he respawned in that engagement.
Looking for me.
Oh man, 64.6 mana per second regeneration. Well, at least he did die, or he's capable of dying, so that's confirmed now. Leshrac also has himself a Shiva's card, gonna help out a little bit. But looking at the graphs, it's a slightly, to be honest, 45 minutes in, only about a 3k lead for Net Worth House of Gamers. XP though, a little bit more so, 8,000. Still not that big of a deal, but BBC, by how things were looking at one point in the game, definitely would have expected more, but it's just the weakness of a magic, or mostly magic based lineup.
Yeah, especially in their one position in the Leshrac. They will smoke up and look for something now, but not sure they will find anything. A moment, the last hero outside of the base, they're going to rotate him back, and doesn't look like they'll find any fruit from this smoke gank as well. Could be a refresher build eventually onto this Storm Spirit. He's got a Void Stone in his inventory. Maybe he's looking for a Yule Scepter here, but double Hex, double Orchid, not that bad on him. Of course, refresher not the most common item for a Storm Spirit.
Oh man, so BBC, some more hexes would definitely be nice for them. Leshrac, if he can get one next after the Shiva's card. I really don't think if there's like any other item he should aim towards. I think probably Hex is best, right?
Definitely so. I think that offers the most utility for them. Aghanim's picked up for the Disruptor now, and things looking very bad for BBC. If they drop that onto Massacre or Padrino, even with those BKBs, they're going to be silenced up and probably promptly brought down thereafter. Timbersaw definitely needing to use that BKB to move around these engagements. Sleight of Fist Steering Chains goes out onto a moment, but not willing to pursue too deeply. There's a Split Earth, but a jump in duel onto Padrino. He doesn't get his BKB off. Swap out from Levi is absolutely necessary. Grizzly getting pretty low. Padrino gonna drop after the duel duration, and overwhelming odds gonna hit onto Levi to drop. Hockey as well, triple kill going Grazine's way, and there's a glimpse back onto Massacre. That might have helped him out though. He's gonna TP that out from the low ground, and he'll be just fine. Meanwhile, Slash Strike chasing down the Treant Protector, 4 for nil. going HOG's way, and things looking very, very bad for BBC 47 minutes in.
Well, all I can say is Slash Strike back to 20 blast on charges. No problem at all. It was huge getting that duel without the BKB being there on Leshrac, of course. Don't think it mattered too much, although then again, Slash Strike did get the Hex follow-up thanks to that. The duel was not won, but oh god, the long range jump to get the Hex on Massacre. Duel will follow as well. God damn, no buyback on any of the heroes on Balkan Bears. Double damage, of course, as well on Slash Strike. Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, I really thought BBC were going to end this perhaps earlier on. Hockey doing very poorly though. No points in Edict. They weren't able to bring down the towers early enough, and now their high ground is being breached by Slash Strike and Co. And as the units wear in, there's no buybacks on these three heroes that are all down here. And that's an easy lane of racks, if not a little bit more, for HOG. They may even retreat to the Roshan pit at this point. Slash Strike gonna zip down to the secret shop. He'll finish off that Perseverance, so it could looks like it could be that refresher for Slash Strike Storm Spirit at this point. Perhaps a Lincoln Sphere, but not really the best item in this game. Doesn't block much aside from the Overgrowth, maybe the Searing Chains, and some of the Vengeful Spirits spells.
So it looks like BBC might try to contest this. Maybe Hockey tried to steal the Aegis. If he can, it's gonna be damn massive, but oh god, I have my doubt because there's gonna be an instant text from Slash Strike. Never mind, they're gonna back off from the Roche pit for now. Oh god, Ferreira comes and gets the BKB this time around, but BKB from Grisine as well. Gets the duel. Will it be enough? Levy, nice swap out. But is it gonna be enough? Overgrowth, not used yet. Sinigata holding on to it. There it is. Are we gonna have some BKBs? Hockey still drops lower. Gonna get silenced up. Hexed as well, but Grisine, he's gonna go down. Patrinho, he's doing so much damage with the Pulse Nova. Hockey still alive somehow. Slash Strike barely lives, but it's enough for him. 3 heroes down on BBC. Rocksnack will go down. Massacre one more. Yes, he does get the Chakram. So in the end, a 3-for-3 exchange. Not all that bad from BBC, to be honest.
Yeah, Padrino surviving quite a while there. These swaps from Levi have really been enough to keep him alive, and unfortunately Massacre, you're going to get the BKB off a little too late beyond that glimpse, and he's still looking for a moment. Kinetic Field is going to get popped here, but the chain should be able to... Okay, Massacre. That's a Kinetic Field. Chakram will be there. Actually, Hex barely in range. He's going to miss the Chakram, and he's going to have to TP out after the chain. Glimpse back, though. Massacre going to pay with his life for this one. Duel is there from Grazine. Slash Strike going to rotate in. Duel's over, but either way, that's a dead Timbersaw, and Massacre with a big-time misstep there. He'll be down for 55 seconds without buyback. That'll be Roshan going the way of HOG.
Why, yo, why, man? They got the... I wouldn't say like a massive fight. It was a favorable 3-for-3 after all, but it was as fine of a fight as they could have hoped for, man. And now losing or Slash Strike with Aegis, 26 freaking blast on charges as well. 8 Daedalus finished on Grisine. We haven't even talked about Rocksnack, but I guess he only has a Manta Cell after the BKB he finished. Viper doesn't really matter in this game. It's just all Slash Strike. Yeah,
and he's picked up the full Lincolns now as well, so as survivable as he was and as much regen as he had, you're going to add both to more of those. He'll zip across the map, find Hockey with Electric Vortex. Split Earth will miss on him, and he'll bring down the Ember Spirit. One-man army here for the Storm Spirit, and that buyback is not available. 70 seconds for the Ember Spirit on the sidelines. They'll take down this tier 2, presumably next in the top lane, but they'll have to be joined by Illusionist and Vrocksnack to look for a high ground push.
Man, I don't know what the plan is next for BBC now. I guess they can still try to hold on to the high ground, but it's just so hard with the Aegis and Storm Spirit, and I wouldn't say a limitless mana pool, but close enough.
Pretty much. I mean, effectively is. For an entire engagement, at least, he should have more than enough mana. 27 Bloodstone charges. Not sure that we've ever even seen that. I'll have to look at some of our stats, guys, to see what's the highest Bloodstone count ever.
I've seen like something on Black once.
In Dota. Yeah, so definitely possible, but either way, right now, just looking incredible.
And that was like a sub 30-minute game as well.
Yeah, and this is 51. Slash Strike jumping forward. He's going to find Levi. Easy kill on the Vengeful. Actually, the Overgrowth is going to be there for the time being. Slash Strike going to have to take a little bit longer to bring down the Vengeful. Padrino's dueled up, though. Static Storm is there as well. Grisine going to find the damage and the duel there. Zenigata being chased down by Slash Strike as well. Ancient Seal out onto Massacre as the Treant Protector goes down. They'll Vortex in and glimpse back at the Timbersaw, and they'll be able to bring him down here. He's actually going to suicide it up. And that's GG. 31 Bloodstone charges ending up on Slash Strike. I'll tweet at Nahaz and see what the max has ever been, but beautiful play from Slash Strike in the mid for HOG. They take a convincing game 1, very methodical, plus 50 minutes in the win, and rough without Weehaw. BBC not looking their best, unfortunately. Magic damage carry for Padrino, just not quite enough to get it done in this one. So that was game 1, guys. It's a best of 3. We'll be back with game 2, HOG versus BBC. Loser goes home shortly on SLTV.